So I'd be interested in bringing you in on this one, because I'm not sure whether you know Yasmin Abdul-Magid, but she made a comment on the Q&A program a couple of months ago where she said Islam is the most feminist religion. Tell me, as a Muslim man, whether or not that sits true with you.
Yeah, for me it does. I mean, there's obviously God created these two creatures, you know, male and female, different. You know, we're different in stature and whatnot, and different roles we play in society. And you know, for me, all the answers are in the Quran, in the Holy Quran, and we'll talk more about that.
Well, isn't the Quran a worry? At verse 434, it teaches followers that, and I quote, "Men are in charge of women." That doesn't sound very feminist. Men are in charge of women, and good women are therefore obedient. And it goes on to say, for women who might disobey, it's recommended to admonish them, leave them alone in their sleeping places, and then beat them. Now, this is the expression.
It's not a term as far as the beat as the hit.
Well, it's been interpreted by, say, Kaiser Trad as meaning domestic violence, and his Tahir video said beating was
in the Quran. Do you know what that beating is? If you know the Arab toothbrush,
little stick.
Little stick. Yeah, that's what they said in the Hizb Tahir.
That is the beating. You cannot harm the lady. You cannot cause any injury or any bruising. You cannot. So
yeah, but any touch, any touch, and using the word.
That's a bit. See, give me that pen.
Well, why do you need that? Why do you need?
Beating.
Yeah, but why do you need to encourage any sort of physicality? That some men, in a moment of anger, could go over the top with real violence.
It doesn't promote physicality. You cannot beat. That's what the whole point of the talk is. You cannot beat your woman or anybody by beating them physically.
Well, what about rewriting or changing the wording of the Quran to make it clear that the beating is not any form of...
The Quran was written in the Arabic language, right? And you know, the changing it to another language like English, that word, you know, I looked up on this, and that word beat, you know, Quranic, it's in the Arabic language isn't the way it's pronounced. It isn't really beat. You know what I mean? So
the problem is, though, Anthony, is you've got Kaiser Trad, who's a Muslim leader. He did an interview on TV where all of this was put to him, and he didn't say what you were saying. He kind of said, "Oh yeah, but this is a last resort. You know, when you get to physical violence." I'll just tell you what he said, though. Yeah. He said, "This is a last resort. You know, first of all, you should talk to her. If not, you should go and buy some flowers or some chocolates. And if that doesn't happen," and he was saying not to hurt her, but you can use it as a way, just as a last resort of discipline.
If you want to do your own research, and the people out there that's watching, do your own research and look right into this issue, because what they're pointing at is the beat. The beat, and what I told you with the toothbrush is just that's the beating.
Okay, but you're saying, as a high-profile Islamic man, that domestic violence is unacceptable.
You cannot
totally unacceptable. That's your message to the Muslim community. We're glad to hear that.
And any Muslim leaders who have been confused over that, they need to get that clear as well, don't they?
They need to, you know, brush up on their beliefs and their faith and what God, because we believe as the Quran is the literal word of God. You know what I mean?
Well, one of our viewers, Rod Morrison, is asking you, Anthony, if you believe Islam can or should be reformed. Could some of these things be cleared up with a clearer writing and understanding of the Quran?
Well, the Islamic book, the Quran, the Holy Quran, hasn't been changed a dot or a tittle since it's come in 1400 years ago, and I don't think you cannot change the book, but obviously, like I said, there was the misinterpretations of changing it to different languages, and you know, certain things ain't there. Like the beat isn't really. You know, I studied this, and I watched Hamza from the Hyde Park. Hamza on Hyde Park. They have Speaker's Corner.
Yeah.
And I watched that a lot, and he addressed this issue really well. I wish I could speak like him and have the knowledge that he did, and I'll just break it down, and I would squash everything right now.
Why can't you update the book? Because surely any book written in the Middle Ages of any religion, it's too dated. It's too backward.
No, it's not backward. This is the author is God, so it cannot be backward. Allah knows God knows His creatures better than anybody. He made you, made us, made everything you see, everything you don't see, the heavens, the earth, everything, the sun, the moon. You know, He's the author.
But wouldn't the whole reputation of Islam be enhanced with some modernisation of the Quran to clear up these misunderstandings about domestic violence? Like I know in my community in southwest Sydney, there are many, many good Muslims. I know some people, for instance, from the Indian, Fijian Muslim community, hard-working, stuck in with their businesses, friends of my son at school, wonderful, wonderful people. I trust them with anything. But there are some fundamentalists who look at some of this stuff and take the literal meaning of the Quran, and that can spill into radicalism and the like, and it gives the whole religion a problematic reputation in Australia. So I'm just saying, for the good Muslims in Australia, who I think are the majority, we could really do a good service here by saying, look, a lot of these things are outdated, they are a bit in the past, they are a bit backward, let's try and give a modern interpretation of this book so the whole religion gets a clean slate.
I just want to tell the people we have faculties, we have reasonings, as human beings, and we just got to use our faculties and reasonings in order to seek the truth, and just ask the Almighty, the Creator, to guide you to the truth, and without no bias, and have a clear cut, because truth is black and white.
Well, I can't ask the Almighty or the Creator those questions, but I can ask you because you're here. When it comes to the treatment of women, I look at young women growing up in this country, and some of them choose to wear the burqa or the niqab and cover up their identity. Others don't make that choice. Others just let me finish. So you've got issues like that. You've got women who aren't allowed to go outside, aren't allowed to talk to people without getting their permission of their brother or their father. You've got female genital mutilation, child brides, forced marriages. When I look at all of those things, I say to myself, I'm not sure whether young Muslim women growing up, either here or other parts of the world, have the same rights as young Muslim men growing up.
Like I said, there's roles for women and there's roles for men. You know what I mean? The women, if you look at the whole Quran, and there's a whole passage, surahs of the women, and women are held like, that's why we try to protect our women. That's why they dress the way they do. That's why they have the hijab and whatnot, because men are, God knows his creation. God knows men. Men's weakness is women.
So because we can't trust ourselves as men not to take advantage of these women or to do something nasty to these women, they pay the price and they have to cover themselves up. No, today,
what is marketed out there is for people to wear miniskirts, people to wear G-strings. Now I see women out there today that wear jackets.
But why do the Muslim women have to pay the price for all of that?
But how are they paying the price? This comes from their Lord.
By not having the freedom to show themselves, to be themselves.
Why would they want to show themselves if they're my daughter or someone's wife?
Because they're growing up in Sydney, Australia, with all the benefits of being.
It doesn't matter. This is from this is from your Creator. This is from your Lord. This is from the one that you want to go back to and return to. Because after this life, this life is only a speck. The next life is an eternally.
Yeah, I've got to say, I'm not all that hung up on how people dress. I mean, people dress.
I'm hung up on it when they don't have the choice.
Okay, well, I think that's right. I think that's
about
the dress code itself.
It's about respect. Soon they're going to have people. They will walk around naked soon. Another 10, 20 years, I was telling you, they're going to walk around naked. They already got naked beaches and stuff, and. There's no. How is the respect?
None of that on Mark Latham's Outsiders.
That's what I'm saying.
We'll keep the gear on. We'll keep the gear on, but.